Everyone who talks about Karnov says one thing. Isn't it weird that there's a video game that stars a big, fat, bald Russian guy? And to that I say, Karnov is a real person. One of the managers at Data East knew Jinborov Karnovsky, and he decided to base the main character of his arcade game on Karnovsky. Unfortunately, I can't find any pictures of Karnovsky. There is a Twitter account that claims to be him, but I'm kind of dubious. That arcade game was one of Data East's big success, so naturally Namco brought it home. I'm coming to the conclusion that Namco would publish all of Data East's arcade ports, while Data East was publishing original Famicom games. Karnov was a bad guy in life, so after his death, God makes him go around doing good deeds, like helping this village that's been attacked by an evil wizard. These cutscenes were removed from the US version, probably because of the very slight religious imagery, though why Data East didn't just remove the halo or something like that, instead of removing all of the cutscenes, is just unknown to me. The game is an action platformer where you move through 9 sprawling stages on your way to fight that evil wizard. Karnov's primary weapon is his fire breath. Karnov can spit fireballs just about as fast as you can press the fire button. You're going to need to use that rapid shot too. The fire breath can take out larger objects thrown at you like these boulders, and a lot of enemies take many hits to defeat, so being able to spit as much fire as possible is important. To that end, if you collect these red orbs, you can increase the number of shots Karnov spits. The first one adds a downward shot, and the second one adds another straight shot but a little bit lower than your regular one. One difference from the arcade game is that Karnov can take a hit. When you're struck by anything, he turns this bluish gray, and any of the red orbs that would power up your fireballs turn blue and instead restore that hit point back. This is different from the US version where you have 3 hit points, and it's a good example of how later releases of games often incorporated feedback from players of the original. In this case, it was Japanese players finding Karnov to be way too hard, and so there were many changes made to the US version to simplify it. And I've got to say those Japanese players in 1980 were right. Karnov on the Famicom is super difficult. Enemies have a bad tendency to come in a constant stream unless you scroll the screen, and they're often placed in such a way that they're very difficult to hit without getting hit yourself. Also, the hitbox for Karnov seems to be much larger than the sprite. You'll have a really difficult time jumping over fireballs. When you get a game over in Karnov, you can continue twice. You have to hit start and select at the game over screen, and as you do this, Karnov will get progressively more injured. Of course, getting far even with 2 continues is tough, so you could use the level skip code. At the title screen, hold down right, select A and B on player 1, and on the player 2 controller, every time you press A, you'll skip a level. I actually had a bit of trouble getting this code to work consistently. It seems like the timing on holding things down with the player 1 controller is a little bit tight. One of the more interesting things in Karnov to me is that there's multiple paths through the stages. It's not a Metroid-like. You can't double back or go find other secrets, but you'll find yourself presented with a way you could go up or a way you could go down. And the 2 paths converge at the boss. One of the more distinctive things about Karnov are the items that you can collect along the way. Every time you press left or right on the D-pad, what item you have selected in your inventory shifts. Some of them are used automatically, but a few of them you have to highlight and then press select. Collecting Ks will eventually earn you an extra life. You have to get 50 of them though, and there just aren't that many on stages. The bombs are used to open up secret passages. I'm afraid I didn't identify any. Maybe if I had a strategy guide. The ladder is one of the most convenient items. It just builds a ladder where you're standing. You can only carry one of them, but you can pick up the ladder that you dropped just by climbing it all the way down. These shoes make you jump higher. That effect lasts about 15 seconds. The wings allow you to fly on certain stages, though I didn't reach them. The boomerang is only a single shot, but it's a powerful weapon that passes through enemies. The shield blocks projectile attacks in front of you. It lasts for a few hits and then goes away. Finally, this orb explodes, defeating all of the enemies on the screen. If there's one thing to say about Karnov's distinctive appearance, it's that he became Data East's mascot for a while. He'll turn up in a few more games, and we're actually going to see him one more time before Famidaily's done. I'm gonna be honest here, I actually have a bit of fondness for Karnov. I always enjoyed the arcade game, and this is a really solid port. Yeah, it's an extremely difficult game, but what isn't these days? I don't know if I'd want to work on mastering it to the point that I could beat it without continuing or the level skip. But I have a pretty good time with Karnov. It's a little awkward, but it's awkward in a way that's charming instead of annoying. Kind of like a big, bald Russian fire breather.